Tigers TV reporter Daniella Bruce joining us right now on Foul Territory. Daniella, great to have you on the show. Thank you for the time. Tell us about what you're seeing so far this year with the gritty Tigers coming off last year's incredible run.
The Tigers so far this season has been the story of the guys that we were questioning coming into the season, right? Like Spencer Torkelson, what was he going to give us? Javier Báez, Casey Mize, who right now is on the 15-day injured list with a hamstring injury. But what were all of those guys going to give this team? Because the belief in the organization was that they were going to get better from within for the most part. They bring in Gleyber Torres, a couple of other arms, but for the most part, they're going to get better from within. And we've seen that. Spencer Torkelson has already hit 10 home runs, which was his season total last year. He's leading the American League with 33 RBIs at the moment. So just seeing a lot of really great improvements from some of the guys that left some question marks for us heading into the spring. And so far, they've been really fun to watch. And obviously watching Tarik Skubal pitch every fifth day is a treat here in Detroit.
Wait, you said from within? Like this is how they're supposed to be built? Is that what they told you at the end of spring training? Because in the offseason, they were going after Alex Bregman and gave a pretty good offer. That seems like somebody from the outside to add to what they already have. What was that reception like also?
Yeah, I mean, I think fans were a little disappointed that Bregman ultimately didn't choose to come to Detroit. That's natural. You heard the boos last night when the Tigers played game one of the Red Sox series. But I think that, at least for me and from within, there's guys that can play third base on this team. So I don't think anybody was... Yeah, maybe there was a little worry. I don't want to say they weren't worried, but there are guys that can fill that role and there are guys that can play that role. And we've seen that. It's been a bit of a platoon. Matt Vierling was pegged for one of the guys that would play over there, but he started the season on the injured list. He's on his rehab assignment now, so he's getting closer to getting back. But we've seen Andy Ibanez play a pretty good third base. Jace Young, his bat's struggling a little bit at the major league level, but we've seen a decently solid third base over there. And I think Zach McKinstry also takes some time. Then Javier Báez has taken some reps over there. So yeah, you don't have that everyday third baseman, but I don't think the fact that Bregman didn't sign here means the Tigers didn't have belief in some of the guys that they have in their system. They also wanted another right-handed bat.
Daniella, first of all, I want you to understand something. I know you have a cool plant, but my plant is bigger than your plant, and my plant feels jealous that you show your plant. And Scott has taken my plant away from me. This is my emotional support plant. And Scott has moved it out of my shot, so I had to go grab it real quick because my plant is bigger than your plant.
If I'm being honest, I tried to trim that plant up not too long ago because it was getting crazy, and I made it look terrible. So honestly, I probably should take it out of my shot next time. But that's
It's a real. Yours is real though. Yours is a real plant.
It's real. Yeah, it's real.
She's a baller. She's a grinder.
Oh yeah, that's way different than my plant. My plant is not real.
We do not take.
You can just pull leaves off this thing. Like, look, see, I have a leaf.
Oh.
Scott can start fanning me from over here now.
Great.
Right now, feed me grapes, Scott. But my question is for Javier Báez. Javier Báez is off to a really good start. Is all they had to do move him to center field? Was that what they should have done years ago?
Maybe.
Got him away from shortstop, said, just go play center.
I laugh with AJ Hinch because he keeps telling all of us that Javi is going to go back to shortstop, and I have yet to see that since the day he started playing in center field. But he's been great out there, and I've talked to Javi pretty at length about what he feels is different this year, and he really does point to how he's feeling physically, how healthy he feels. I don't even think he expected to feel as good as he does now after having the hip surgery at the end of last year. So once he started rehabbing and realizing that, wow, I feel so much better now, he was able to get back into that mindset of I'm going to get back to where I was. I'm going to contribute to this team. And he's doing that at the plate too. He's been much better from that perspective. And having him in center field has been huge for the Tigers because we just talked about third base. I think heading into the season, everybody was a little bit more concerned about center field because we had 3 center fielders go down back to back, starting with Parker Meadows in spring, Matt Vierling shortly after, and then Wenzel Perez when they played that the series in San Francisco to start the season, the exhibition games. So you lose 3 center fielders right there, and you're wondering what they're going to do out there. You know, Riley Green can play there. You know that Zach McKinstry might be able to take some reps out there. Ryan Kreidler filled that void for a little while, but Javier Báez has really embraced it, and all his teammates describe it as he's playing like a little kid out there. He's playing like he's playing, 12U Little League and really enjoying baseball again. So yeah, Javi in center has been a huge thing for the Tigers and a big reason why they found so much success early.
A team that's young and having everybody kind of hitting on all cylinders right now, the fear is, for me, where's the depth? So do they have depth in the minor leagues that can fill in? Obviously, Vierling coming back, what he did, anchoring kind of the 3 or 4 spot in the lineup last year was awesome, but do they have the depth, or is it only those guys coming off the IL that they really have if and when something happens?
Yeah, I think they have a little bit more depth in the pitching department than they do right now in the position players. But when you look at that, who's on the team right now, like a Justin Henry Malloy, and you have the guys like Jace Young, who's up here, who likely won't be by the time our roster is fully healthy. So those are players that can come back up, make a difference at any time, or stay on this team and make a difference. So I do think there is some depth there. Are there some players that are in the system that are really exciting that probably aren't quite ready to get to the big leagues yet? Yes, the guys that are always talked about are the Max Clarks and Kevin McGonigal in the system. Tyrone Lorenzo has been really, really good too. But I think there is going to be some tough decisions that have to be made. And now that you've seen guys play in different positions, I don't know if depth's quite the issue. Like you've seen Javier Báez play shortstop, obviously. And when he's in center field, you've got Trey Sweeney, who's playing an excellent shortstop, and he's been hitting like crazy too. And then Zach McKinstry just filled in at short the other day, and he made some fantastic plays over there. So when you look positionally, the Tigers just have so many players that can be moved to different spots that's where their depth really comes from. And I think the guys that we're not going to see as much of once we're a fully healthy roster, they might be in Toledo, and they're going to be ready to go whenever they need to get the call up too.
This is a straightforward show, so I'm going to be very straightforward with everyone about PXG. Fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course is to get yourself a PXG golf fitting. Go in there and let the experts help you.
I've been using PXG for a few years now, Scotty. They are perfect. I love the way they feel. They fit them perfectly to my swing. They weighted them. They put grips in them. They put shafts in them. They use their heads, and they fit my swing beautifully. They have definitely improved my game. They just recently hooked me up with their new Allen putter, which is off the chain. I was draining putts the other day, left and right. So I definitely say, go get your fitting at PXG. Nobody goes golf the way PXG does.
Yes, and for a limited time, you could save up to 20% on your entire order. Head over to pxg.com/foul. That's pxg.com/FOUL to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/foul. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Daniella, what's different with Torkelson? I mean, this is the guy they thought when they drafted him 1-1, right? And he came in with all the hype. But what's really different about him? Because if you watch him, I mean, maybe some plate discipline, but he looks the same. He's standing the same. He's swinging the same. Is it just a confidence thing?
His stance is actually very different. That's one thing that he worked on in the offseason. So he was standing very wide last year, and he kind of narrowed his stance, staggered his feet a little bit. And he calls it a more athletic stance where he feels like he can get to the ball faster. He has a better view of the pitches coming in. He's able to work at bats a little bit better, but he's made his swing a little more athletic. And he talks about that a lot, just how that's really helped him with his timing and get back to feeling like the hitter that he was in college, because we didn't see that through his first stretch in the big leagues. And then he was able to make those adjustments in the offseason. And now he feels very consistent, very confident. And like what he's doing now is really working for him.
Okay, because it's hard. I mean, his hands and everything, it's hard to see his feet. You're there every day, obviously.
So if you take a look at it, if you can look at like a side-by-side of his stance from last year and what he's doing now with his feet, it's just a little bit more, it does really look more athletic. Like he describes it as last year, he was just a little bit too wide, and it was causing him to not be able to get to certain pitches, or the where the bat was hitting the barrel was a little bit different just because of how his swing was coming through. And the way he's standing now feels a lot more comfortable for him, and he's able to see the ball better, make better contact, and feels more athletic in the box.
Tommy Kahnle, what does that nut job, who is a huge friend of mine, friend of the show, what has he changed about a bullpen that essentially it was Tarik Skubal and what they call it, pitching chaos? No, pitching that was chaos. Yeah, pitching that's right. Chaos. You just go out and like, what has Tommy Kahnle, besides the fact that his life is chaos, changed about that bullpen?
Well, the Tigers love to have different looks in their bullpen, and Tommy Kahnle, it is incredible what he can do with the changeup. I knew when he was signed, reading about him, what he was able to do in New York, that he mostly used the changeup, but it's pretty spectacular that he can get out there, and hitters know he's going to throw the changeup, and they still can't hit it. So he's added a little bit more stability, a little bit more veteran presence. He just hit his 10-year service time. So he's really good from that standpoint with some of the younger arms that we have coming out of the bullpen. But I actually just talked to Tarik Skubal about Tommy not too long ago. And Tommy came in for Tarik in Tarik's last start. And Tommy Kahnle's changeup is something even Tarik Skubal, who has one of the best changeups I've ever seen, says he's dialed in watching Tommy Kahnle pinch, whether it's the metrics or the way that the ball's coming out of his hand or his mechanics, whatever it is, he's dialed watching something when Tommy Kahnle comes into the game. So I think that just says a lot about the level that he pitches at. And for a reliever that throws, I think it's over 80% changeup, is pretty spectacular. So he adds a little bit of versatility into the bullpen in the fact that he gets guys out with just one pitch, and that veteran presence too. I know that sounds a little cliche, but I think it means a lot to a team that is really young.
Okay, we're gushing. I picked this team to have the best record in the American League, so we're on the same page, but it's early. Tell me where the concern level is. When you have combos with AJ Hinch, I'm sure he says, hold up. This part of the team I'm concerned about. So where are we at?
AJ Hinch doesn't speak like that. I'm telling you right now, when you hear him say he focuses on today's game, he really does. And he will do whatever it takes to win that game. I don't know if you saw the doubleheader in Colorado last week, but he brought up Brewer Hicklin to play in the outfield just for that game because he knew he could get his guys a little bit of rest before we had to fly back to Detroit and play Texas the next day. So he's always strategically thinking about ways that he's going to win that specific game. And even if you ask him about having the best record in the American League, he's going to tell you that they're focused on today. And I think he really has put that mindset into all of his players. And that's why they are where they are right now. That's why they went on that run that they did at the end of the season. Of course, everybody's always like, we're fairly healthy right now. We've been able to get through some of the major injuries that happened in the spring. The rotation's fairly healthy right now. Casey Mize is on the 15-day IL, but you look at that and you know that things are going to come up throughout the season. So I think aside from just looking at depth and making sure you have guys in the right spots, that would be where the biggest concern is. Jack Flaherty hasn't been pitching the way that we know he can pitch. So I think there's some work there for him to be done. But right now, things seem to be really going well for the Tigers. And you have guys playing every day like Zach McKinstry. He's always been a big example of somebody who's never played this type of role on a major league team. He hasn't been in the lineup every single day. So just making sure that you're getting him used to that physically is another thing that we hear a lot about. So for now, I mean, they're firing on all cylinders. And I know that probably isn't going to happen for the entire season. And I know they think that probably isn't going to happen for the entire season, but they've always found ways to fill the gaps when it's needed. I mean, we brought up pitching chaos already. The Tigers had two starting pitchers, two true starters when they went into that stretch last year and ultimately made a playoff run. So I don't think they look at it like that. I think they know there's going to be challenges that come up, but this team has been really, really good at figuring out how to deal with them.
Daniella, what can they add? Because I think we all are in agreement that this team should make the playoffs. And Skubal, Flaherty, whether it's Mize, Olsen, whoever the third guy is, fourth guy in that rotation is, but who can they add? Do they need a reliever? Do they need another bat? Do they need another starter?
They'll always look for arms. I don't think you can ever have enough pitching.
Every team though. So I mean, like saying they need an arm, that's like, well, I need another arm.
That's right. Everybody does, right? And the Tigers were pretty open about looking for right-handed hitters during the offseason too. And Gleyber Torres has filled that role pretty well for the Tigers. He's done a good job. He puts together great at-bats, and he's a veteran presence too. But I think that's something that, you know, Scott Harris is probably still going to look at as this team gets stronger. And if they do start to make a run, trade deadline approaches, what exactly are they looking to add? They might need some outfield depth if these guys don't get back and healthy. So that's something you can look at. Manuel Margot is still a part of this organization too. The Tigers added him late after some of those outfield injuries. So he's down in Toledo. But I definitely think that they'll tell you, like you said, they always need arms. That might be the cliche answer, but you'll always want arms to shore up that pitching rotation, because the Tigers pitching is, if they can have that locked in and they can score the amount of runs that they have or even less, they're still in a pretty good spot. So I think that will be where they're looking at, but we've still got quite a bit of time until that happens. So you never know what could happen between now and the deadline, or now if there is a trade that wants to be made. there's still some time to figure that out. And I think I've learned a lot about baseball in the past couple of years, and knowing that if you're looking that far ahead already, you have no idea who's going to be healthy or what the roster is going to look like exactly at that point. So making those decisions this early would be a little crazy, especially when the team is playing the way that they're playing. They do have some talent within. I think it's real. We're a quarter of the way through the season.
Daniella, great to have you on. Thank you for the time. This was really good. And I like how you said real at the end of your last answer, because that's what Daniella has behind her. And we have fake. This is fake.
We need to send you guys a real plant. Like, what the heck? Come on.
The problem
they
is
kill it.
It will die.
They don't. They're not.
We are not very mature. We are not very responsible.
Speak for yourself.
We are not very around. So it would not do well.
No one would water the plant. Okay.
You're on the road a little bit. How would you do with a plant in here?
I don't want a plant here. I have my plant.
Right.
Scott took my plant away, Daniela.
Well, now it gets
he took my plan away.
The show. Thanks for watching Step Brothers. Daniella, great to have you on. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.